Hello, welcome to Coull Discussions. That's Barry. I'm Chris. Now, we're going to talk about something I look forward to every year. E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. It just happened this past week.
Is it over?
Yeah, it is over. Yeah, it's like Monday through Thursday, 4 days. Lots of press conferences, lots of games, people talking about all kinds of cool stuff. And it's something I look forward to all the time because, new games. Yeah, I always like to see what the new games are out there. Now, Sony and Nintendo and Xbox all have a press conference. Now, what's been happening at E3 lately is that the game producers, developers, publishers, they themselves come out and do a news conference because it's just too much to fill in, too much for one news conference. You don't want to have a 3-hour news conference for one company talking about all this. So what I do like is that it now gives Sony and Xbox a chance to focus on the things that are first party produced, and then if you want to, if you have favorite publishers, you go to the publisher one and you watch them and learn about all the things that they're going to come out with. So I'm going to start with Sony because it's the one that I don't like the most. I will tell you right now is that I do have a bias towards Microsoft and Xbox. I watch both shows, and as everybody knows, there's always a big fanboy discussion of who put on the better show. And I will be one of the first ones to admit that Sony, a couple of years ago, they were the definitive winners of E3. They definitely came out with the better show, the better announcements. I don't know necessarily about better games, but overall, last year I think they were kind of on par with Xbox. I think Xbox did it a little bit better, but Sony had better games, I guess you could say. So in the grand scheme of things, they kind of were even, in my opinion. Now this year, I personally think that Xbox had a better showing, and Sony didn't do as well. But according to the medias out there, they say that Sony has been winning, and it's just like, I'm not sure about that. So we'll start off with Sony announcing God of War. That is a big deal in the Sony for PlayStation. God of War has always been one of those games.
It's like their cornerstone game, isn't it?
It is one of them. Games. Yeah. It's one of those games that I wish that I could play, but I'm never going to buy a PlayStation. I don't like their controllers, blah, 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 whatever. My opinion, mine. So it's one of those games that I would love to play, but I've never been able to. Now, they announced that it's coming out, and it didn't get me excited. All the other God of War games, they come out, they show you these big set pieces and awesome action pieces, and it's just like, ooh. And this year, they toned it down a lot for him. They gave him a son, and they put him in Norse religion because he took care of all the Greek gods. That's fine. He has to move on to some other pantheon. That's not a big deal. It just the camera's closer. It didn't feel like he was Kratos. It just felt like
I find whenever you see like demonstrations or commercials for video games and then you play the damn game, it's completely different. Like, because obviously, for obvious reasons, I'm not retarded. Sorry, I used a bad word. Whatever. Obviously, they engineer it's not actual gameplay.
Oh, see, they were saying that. In the commercials they're not, but then the demo, they showed somebody playing, and they had a live orchestra doing the sound for it, which I didn't see the point to it. Anyways, they're doing that, and I guess later on when they redid the demo for other people, he changed up a little bit, and they showed you that it was not a set piece; it was an actual.
They should do. They got this platform called Twitch, right?
Yeah,
where people play video games, and there's like 50,000 people watching people play League of Legends and stuff like that. They should just get those people to introduce their games for them. You know what I mean? Go on Twitch. Here's a new game. You're gonna play it. You're gonna give us the reviews, bad, good. Play it on your Twitch channel. Well, you know what I mean. What like?
Well, okay, that is one thing that is happening with the
cool.
E3 this year.
Cool.
That is one thing with E3 this year is that a lot of the bigger developments in the past 5 years, there's been a downgrade in the E3 show. A lot of the publishers have stopped having a massive presence at the show and are making their own day. You know, they're doing their own presentations, their own shows on a different day, and going, oh, look at all the stuff that we do.
I'll tell you
making
what.
Making their own little festival of it.
I'll tell you what. I'll volunteer us at Coull Discussions here for any developer out there who has a cool game they want us to try. I am not a gamer. He is a gamer. We are total two opposite spectrums of gaming. I do not play games. He loves the games.
That's why we're talking about it.
Okay? You want an honest opinion? Give us your stuff. We'll give you an honest opinion. From a non-gamer, the market that you guys are trying to get to come into your games, to the guys you know are going to buy it. Him. He's going to buy the newest game. He's going to buy the newest console. Me, not so much. You have to convince me. And that's, unfortunately, in business, that's how it is.
Yeah,
everybody, all businesses, they don't cater to the people who are loyal. They cater to the people who are like teetering between Microsoft, Xbox, or PlayStation.
PlayStation did. They did kind of cater to their crowd. Like the past few years, they've definitely been all about games because they've learned a harsh lesson. They got to stop talking about stats and statistics about their company. They got to go games, and people go woo by comparison. Now they started off with God of War. It didn't get me excited. Another big thing that's coming with PlayStation is their Sony VR. They're going to be coming out with a virtual reality set. And when they showed it in their press conference, by the end of it, I didn't go, ooh. I just went, so?
I think they should save virtual reality technology for when it's perfected. I don't think you want to release a hat. Remember that, what was that game one from Nintendo where you put the red goggles on and it was just I can't remember what that was called. Mm-hmm. But that was a very sad attempt at, it was good at the time, I guess. I never played it.
Apparently virtual reality has come leaps and bounds since then. People are saying that the Oculus Rift is just an amazing piece of technology. Now, people have said that the VR system for PlayStation is good, not great, just good. Now, it all depends on how it actually ends up releasing, because for Microsoft, when they did the Kinect for both their 360 and the Xbox One, they're showing us on stage all this stuff you could do with it, and you get it in your home, and
you can't do half of it.
It just failed miserably.
It was a great idea. I think Kinect is great.
I think it is.
But they didn't use it. They didn't utilize it.
Exactly.
When are we getting the damn holodecks? That's what I want. Star Trek holodecks, where I punch in I want to play NHL. Bam, and I'm in NHL with a stick going, or soccer. Yeah. When do we get that stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the PlayStation, they came out with a whole bunch of different games. They did try to make it all about the games. Now there's two. Horizon, one with the lady in the Stone Age, mankind versus the mechanisms of the age dinosaurs and weird crab-like creatures and stuff like that. Now last year when they showed it, I was like, ooh, that looks cool. This year, seeing it, it didn't get me as excited. And it's like, that's what games are supposed to do. And it's just like, after seeing it the second time, it's like, no, it's not as exciting. Now, there was another one called Death Stranding. It's a new game concept. Somebody called it a tech demo. It had Norman Reedus in it, rendered Norman Reedus, and he was naked.
Ooh.
There's a couple.
What games are cool? Those Telltale games. The stories.
There's a new one coming out with Batman.
Those are cool. I think
Telltale is making a Batman one.
They've done it good. Thumbs up to Telltale games. They've done like their walk. I don't play it because I just get bored. But I think that's a really good concept. I think it's really interactive. You can kind of change. I like games where we can change the story based on decisions that you make.
Very
Whereas
true.
a lot of games are just go from A to B, and it's like, okay. There are little secrets, but
Yeah. Now, so I personally thought that the Sony press conference wasn't that great. I didn't see what the big deal about it was. Now, their VR system, I want to point this out. It was underwhelming when they showed it on their press conference. Now, they showed off, they said it was going to have 50 games. They showed off Final Fantasy 15, an X-Wing Battlefront mission, space mission, which I should have went, woo! And then by the time I was done, it's like, again. And then Batman Arkham. Now, they just showed Batman and doing a side profile and him slowly turning his head. And that was their press conference. That was their press conference for...
fucking aliens are coming.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
That was their press conference for him. And it's just like, okay, whoop-de. Now, apparently when you went down and actually got to play as Batman in VR, you start off in the Batmansion. The mansion. You talk to Alfred. You walk up to the piano, hit the keynotes. It opens up the clock passage. You walk down to the Batcave, and you put on Batman's armor. Now, right there, jizz in my pants. Yeah, that's what they should have shown in the press conference. They didn't, and personally, I think that was a lost opportunity. Now, people say, "Oh, well, they did it." It's like, well, don't forget that not everybody can go to E3 and play these games. Only the press can. This is not a public...
Is this still Sony that we're talking about?
Yeah, it's still Sony.
Oh, okay.
This is not a public event. So, yeah, we get to hear about it, but Sony could have shown us. Now, some of the publishers. So, Bethesda, they put on what I would like to call a PowerPoint presentation. Blah, 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 point to point to point. Here it is, here's the next point, here it is, here's the next point. And it's just like, okay, fine, whatever. Put a little bit of life into it. Now, Quake apparently is coming back. Eldar Scrolls Legends, an online card game. Remastered Skyrim. Now,
Have you ever played Hearthstone?
no, I haven't. It's free if you ever want to. Apparently, it's a really fun game. If you are...
Big in the Twitch and poker community, so that's why I know what it is.
if you play Magic the Gathering,
It's the same type of thing,
it's the
isn't
same type of thing, but it comes from Blizzard Entertainment, and they're really well known for doing a game well. So, yeah, apparently it's good, but I'm not a big fan of collecting the cards and stuff like that, because it always comes down to whoever has the most money gets the best cards. Skyrim is going to be remastered. They're showing before and after visuals, so like the 360 and then the Xbox One, and the visuals are just wow. So that could be really interesting. Dishonored 2. Dishonored was a really interesting stealth ninja game. I had a lot of fun playing with it. So Dishonored 2, yay! They said that there's going to be VR for Fallout 4, but they didn't mention whose VR set they're going to be doing it for. So apparently there are 3 in competition. Sony, Oculus Rift, and one other one which I'm not entirely aware of. Just a third party that's there, but it's not a big deal. Or not a lot of hearing about it. Quake is back, which is a big PC game, which is basically responsible for all first-person shooters.
There's a VR glass thing that I heard about. I can't remember the name. What was it? It was like Moon something. I can't remember. No point even trying to talk about because I can't remember.
Now, EA had their press conference. Now, they weren't actually part of E3. They actually at a different convention hall, basically across the street from E3. So you had to leave, go to their press conference. They talked about all their stuff, and then they had a lobby where you could try out the games, and then you had to go back to E3 and stuff like that. So, they did simultaneous broadcast in LA and London, which, it didn't work out as well as maybe they were hoping for. They talked about Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2, I enjoyed Titanfall a lot. It was a really fun...
like this is the EA is the guys who make Madden, right?
Yeah, well, Madden's coming out, FIFA's coming out.
EA, when are you going to make a CFL football game? Come on.
Never.
I want to buy it. I would buy that. See, fringe guy right here, CFL, I would buy it. I want to play as the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah, but... Okay.
Or a curling game. I like curling. I'm sure there's a lot of Canadians who like curling. When are you going to make a curling game that's actually good?
Oh, it could be. That could easily be an arcade game.
You know?
It doesn't have to be a big budget game, but...
That's what I mean.
There you go. It's just... the U.S. is a much bigger market than Canada, so they're always going to cater to that market.
Of course. But come on, EA, you're Canadian. Your headquarters are in Vancouver or some shit like that. Get on the freaking CFL train. Come on. Or CFL, get on the video game train.
It really wouldn't be that hard, because all they'd have to do is take the Madden engine.
There you go.
And adopt the CFL stadiums, and then the teams...
Wouldn't be hard at all.
Yeah.
Would not be hard at all. Just put a CFL game out, please.
Yeah. So, Titanfall 2, I was supposed to be excited about this game, but by the time I finished watching the multiplayer trailer and the campaign trailer, which was... There was no single-player campaign for the first Titanfall, which was a big complaint. But after seeing the trailer for the Titanfall single-player campaign, I went, really? Wow, that's... If this was the way Titanfall had been presented to me in the beginning, I would never have played it. They talked about some Star Wars games. That's it. They talked that they have Star Wars games in development. But no pictures, no teasers, no dates. Just, we're making a couple of Star Wars games. And, no, just that's it. We're making a couple Star Wars games. And it's like, why? So I found EA's press conference very underwhelming. I was expecting a little bit more.
And these are all available just on the web? You watch them?
Yeah, you can watch them on YouTube. You can go... it's funny. I watched the Xbox press conference on Xbox because they do have an app for it that does it directly.
Why doesn't everybody have an app nowadays? Apps are so much easier to navigate.
Mm-hmm. And then what I did is I actually went onto YouTube and watched the Sony press conference on YouTube on my Xbox.
I don't know why these companies just don't work together to put out like a... you can still have your PlayStation and your Xbox because people are going to buy them separately. But why don't they work together and have come up with great technology for great virtual reality? Because obviously that's the next step in gaming is virtual reality.
Yeah, but it's not obvious. A matter of let somebody else spend all their hard-earned money and see if it works.
But imagine what they could accomplish if they just kumbaya and
nobody wants to kumbaya anymore.
Fuck.
Okay, so the last independent press conference was Ubisoft. Now,
they make Assassin's Creed, don't they?
They do. It was a 2-hour press conference. It was long, yes, but here's the thing. It was funny. It had energy. It had humor. It was so unlike the other major publishers' press conference that it was fun to watch. Now, mind you, there were no games there that I cared to play. No Assassin's Creed this year.
So out of this all, is it going to make you buy any new games? Any games that you weren't already going to...
I'm not done yet.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, I know.
I'm asking the right questions at the wrong time.
2 pages of notes here. Okay, they talked about Just Dance, Ghost Recon, Eagle Flight, which is a VR game. For Honor, actually. That one, I had interest last year when they kind of showed it off, but to answer your question, after seeing it this year, wow, I want that game.
I don't know what it is.
Because the premise is Knights versus Vikings versus Samurai. Very cool. There we go. South Park 2 is coming out, the Division DLC. They showed off a VR game with Star Trek for Star Trek Bridge. They actually got some of the cast and crew from the Star Trek series on it. So they had Geordie LaForge, LeVar Burton. They had Keith Urban Either that or Carl Urban.
Carl, because Keith Urban's a country music singer.
Okay, that's why I'm getting it mixed up. Carl Urban, who is the new McCoy on the new Star Treks, and the lady who played 7 of 9.
See, that would be cool. You know, that would be cool if you were like virtual reality and you had like the ability to manipulate the bridge and stuff like that, and be like bam, 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 and you're in control of that stuff. That would be kind of cool.
Okay,
stuff. Where I'm sitting here at a video game going,
no, hold on. What you just said right there was exactly what they did.
See, that would be cool.
They had 4 VR sets. They had little finger things on them so they could tell where your fingers are in the set. Put on the VR goggles. One guy was a captain, one was engineering, one was a helm, and then the other guy was just there to help them out. He was a developer. Now, LeVar Burton was in engineering, Carl Urban was the captain, and 7 of 9 was helm, and they're showing it. You see the bridge, you look around, like we'd be sitting beside each other. There's the captain.
See, that's cool.
I'm engineering. You know, you move your fingers, you see them move, so you can actually push buttons on the screen, and the buttons actually get pushed on the screen.
I don't want to buy that stuff in my house though, because you would need your whole damn separate room for that kind of stuff. What I want is a place where I can go and play for a couple hours if I want to. You know what I mean?
But that,
go in and just be like, bam, I'm playing for a while.
Think about that. Okay, so PlayStation, PlayStation said that their VR set's going to be $400 American, so $550 Canadian. Now think about it. To have 4 of your friends in your house play that's
where you can just go
$2,000 just for this.
Just forget I said that.
Not including the finger thing.
Just forget it. That's a great business idea. Maybe we'll come up with it.
So what's probably going to happen are the old, when computers were first coming out and nobody had big powerful computers to run the games, they would actually have businesses that would have 8 to 16 computers hooked up in a room. You'd be able to play against each other or against other people online, before online was actually a big thing. So this was what VR might be doing.
Don't forget to hit us up at coulldiscussions@gmail.com if you would like to invest in our new business idea.
Okay, so I'm leaving the best for last, at least in my opinion. So I thought this year Xbox came out with a better press conference because they actually had a little bit more energy than the Sony one. They had more moments than I thought Sony did. Sony came out with a couple of interesting games, but those games might not be for 2 or 3 years. Okay, maybe 3 years is an exaggeration, but for Sony, think about Last Guardian. I think it's been part of 7 of the past 10 E3s.
I don't even know what that is. I've never.
It's a game. It doesn't matter. So, anyways, Xbox.
I heard they're coming out with a new Xbox.
They're coming out with 2 new Xboxes, and the reason why is one of them was leaked, Project Scorpio. That one was leaked, so they figured they might as well just talk about it instead of having rumors going around about it. But they're coming out with an Xbox Slim. Now, PlayStation has done this, so not a big deal.
Silly.
It's smaller, more compact. It can come with a bigger...
Yeah, I heard it's you get like 5 terabytes or...
You can get 2 terabytes.
Oh, 2, okay.
But, okay, now people are saying, oh, this is a cash grab. No, the reason why I'm not considering it to be... I thought it might have been a cash grab too, because it's, a smaller one, whatever. The reason why it's not is, 1, it's going to be 4K compatible. So for those early adopters of 4K, it's a big deal. And 2, it's going to be able to support crossplay. Now, crossplay, I think, was a big deal for Xbox, is because you're going to be able to play on Xbox and any Windows 10 game. Not any. So, for example, Gears 4, which was a game that they teased last year, introduced this year for this holiday season. You're going to be able to play on your Xbox in co-op modes with people on PCs, as long as they're doing it on Windows 10, which is something that was unimaginable 3 years ago, that people would actually be able to play PC and Xbox.
It was imaginable, they just didn't want to put it out.
Okay, it's always been imaginable. There, smart ass.
Well, it has been. This technology has been around for
Okay.
Probably in development for years.
No, you're right. It could have been.
I think it's a cash grab to put out like a slim Xbox.
No, but okay.
Couldn't you just put an update in the cause don't they update the software?
now?
Or
Okay, now
there's
there's a
hardware that there's.
I haven't been able to confirm it, but there might be a software update so you can do the same thing on your Xbox One. However, the Slim will just have it already in there, so it doesn't necessarily, because they don't necessarily know what will happen with a software update on a grand scale. So they just have it on that one. It makes it easier. Now, okay, PlayStation did come out with for both the PS2 and the PS3, they've come out with slim versions. You know, after a certain amount of time, things become cheaper, they can make it smaller. And they've done it. Now, to yell at Microsoft for doing that, you'd have to yell at PlayStation.
Well, of course,
They've
it
done
is
it.
a cash grab. That whenever you release the same system but smaller, that's all it is. It's just like with one small little difference. It's like
No, but okay, they don't. There were two big things on this one. The 4K compatible. Now, for the most part, 4K doesn't mean anything to anybody. For the most part.
it means something to me. They have 4K in sports for 2 years now.
Well, there you go.
In baseball, anyways.
Okay. So
I don't really see the difference because I don't have 4K television.
yeah, exactly. But as I said, for early adopters. Now, they went through... now, there's going to be an Elite controller for Gears of War. It looks really cool. I think the Elite controller for the Xbox is a really cool idea. Language support. They're coming up with these clubs on the Xbox, so you can actually get together with like-minded individuals and form clubs and play games together. So you don't have to look for them online. You just pop up, go to your club, say, "Hey guys, want to play?" Done. Right? Instead of having to go online, search for, hope he's there, get him, so on and so forth. They talked about Minecraft, which is a big deal. They're doing cross-play with Minecraft as well. Here's the kicker. You're going to be able to take your Xbox game, play it on your Xbox One, play it on your Apple iPad, play it on your Microsoft Surface, and your Android devices.
That's cool.
So you're going to be able to take your game and play it on all four devices.
Up.
They will work.
That's cool.
Which is awesome, considering Apple got involved in that. They actually gave them permission to do something like that.
I think that's cool when you got two big companies like that who do like cross promotion and cross usage like that. I think it's really cool when you have that ability. Like, imagine if people who played on Xbox could play with people who played on PlayStation. Because what if you have a friend who has a PlayStation and then you guys want to play the same game?
Xbox has actually thrown down the gauntlet in this regards to PlayStation, because for their game Rocket League, it is cross-play across Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. They've made it possible, but PlayStation hasn't said yes yet.
See that? What are you doing, PlayStation? Get your head out of your ass. Let's go. Imagine the big community that you guys could have out there, Rocket League or whatever. I've heard of the game. I've never seen it though.
So Microsoft is also making a big push for indie games. Because they kind of screwed up and they're trying to make amends for it. You're going to be able to do competitive play on Xbox as part of these clubs. You're going to be able to challenge other clubs and go ahead.
I can't believe how big esports is, eh?
Yeah, that's where
crazy.
It is.
Esports is going to be huge soon. It's going to be
it's
huge.
huge already. It just hasn't quite caught up.
It's going to be mainstream. I think it's bigger in Europe, isn't it?
Asia.
Yeah, but it's going into Europe because I see a lot of
Asia.
Like, I follow poker a lot, right? So, and there's a lot of people who do both. Like, I know that PokerStars, the big poker website, has I think eFlow, is that something? Flow or
Actually, I don't know.
Something. They just partnered with one of them e-sport thingies or something. I don't know. But it's big. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be. If there's stock out there for it, buy it now.
Yeah. They're going to do custom controllers, so you're going to be able to take your controller, order it from the Xbox store, and change the faceplate colors, the button shapes, the button
See, that's cool.
textures.
That's cool.
Yeah, those are actually kind of
monotonous stuff. That's kind of neat to be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, they announced when they announced Tekken 7, they gave away 2 games to go along with it. Dead Rising 4, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, Scalebound, which actually looks really amazing because you get a pet dragon to play with. And they showed off some gameplay with that, which is actually looked kind of neat. And then Halo Wars 2, which people were going to say, oh, all these a bunch of these games were talked about last year at E3. It's like, no, these games were teased last year at E3. They're talked about this year at E3. Right? Halo Wars 2, the beta is out. I've been playing it. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Actually.
Games upon games upon games.
Yeah. Now they brought up Project Scorpio because it'd been leaked, so they figured they might as well just talk about it because they've been talking to developers about it already. They gave some specs and stuff like that. Specs don't mean anything without all the relevant specs because they said 6 teraflops. It's like, whatever. Now the whole big thing about the new one is it's going to be VR compatible. So the rumor is that the Oculus Rift is actually going to work on the Xbox One, which is a big deal because Oculus Rift.
You have to Google what this Oculus Rift thing is.
Oculus Rift was the first one to make.
Is it like the goggle things?
Oh yeah, but apparently it's apparently the cream of the crop of the best out of the choices for virtual reality. They put a lot of time.
Pornhub uses?
Probably. That would be
whoever the porn industry uses. That's who you should use.
Yeah, it's not PlayStation. So, overall, I personally thought Xbox put on a better show. As is, I enjoy watching E3. I devoured hours of content about this stuff. It's just always so difficult to watch how the media for games just kind of falls into Sony's lap all the time. And it's just like...
I'll have to trust you on that because I don't follow anything about it.
Yeah, no.
The most I watched about E3 was a Snapchat story of it. That's it. And I went, okay, click, 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 click. I saw a lot of Zelda stuff, and I was like,
oh, and what? Nintendo showed up. They always had a very small showing, but they only talked about 2 games, or, well, a little bit more. But the big one was Zelda, which is a new Zelda. One. That's new Zelda, and apparently it's a big deal. I've stopped playing Zelda games a long time ago.
Who plays Nintendo still?
People play Nintendo for Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, and Zelda.
Yeah,
so whenever one of those 3 games come out, the Nintendo is a big deal.
Yeah,
but between then, Nintendo almost doesn't exist.
Yeah, they don't try to put out games anymore. They don't try to be anything anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, I think they should just fold up as a console game company and become a software developer, and then Xbox and PlayStation could have Mario and Mario Kart.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
imagine that?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my rant. Thanks for listening.
So, has this E3, has it made you want to buy any other games? Has
anything jumped out?
It made you go, I'm going to buy that, and I wasn't going to buy that before.
It actually made me not excited about certain games, actually. Like the Horizon New Dawn.
So it had a negative effect.
Horizon New Dawn. Last year, I was so sad that it was going to be just a PS4 game. And this year, after seeing it, I'm like, okay, I'm not sad about it. Like, God of War should have gotten me excited. It didn't get me excited. VR should have gotten me excited. Well, because of how they handled it, it didn't. I've heard things that could get me excited, but... hearing and seeing are always 2 different things.
I always want to play video games. I'm like, man, I want to play video games. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play a video game. And I'm like, bam, I sit down and I'm like, all right, here you go. I play for a little while and I go, all right, it's the same thing over and over again. I was playing Star Wars Battlefield. Battlefront, Battlefield, whatever it's called. And I was playing it, and I'm playing the one where you attack the AT-ATs or whatever.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then it's like just the same thing over and over. And I'm like, oh, I beat the 1. I'm like, oh, okay, beat 2 more. And I'm like, but I've already just beat 1. Beat 10 more. I've got to beat the little guys and the big guys now. It's like, what? How many AT-ATs am I going to have to kill here before I can go do something else cool? Where's Darth Vader? You know what I mean?
Where just jumped right into the Darth Vader stuff.
Where the hell? So I'm like looking around and it's like, ooh, Darth Vader. And you're just in the same old little area killing people. And I'm like, how many waves of enemies do I gotta kill before I can go somewhere else? You know? So I just got bored and I turned it off. And I went, okay, total playing time of Star Wars. I was almost gonna call it Star Trek. Oof, what I got killed. Of Star Wars Battlefront, 2 hours.
Wow.
Total game playing in my life, probably 24 hours. In my whole life. Maybe.
Hey, you even owned a PlayStation 3 for a little while. I
did.
Too. And
yeah.
I think the most...
I've owned like one of every system.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Almost. Like I really enjoyed the Mortal Kombat when it was simple. But then it got complex and I went...
I love fighting games, but they're just so...
I enjoyed the NHL and then it was like, be a GM. And I'm like, but I don't want to go through all this crap. Be a franchise and decide on your popcorn prices. But I just want to play the game. Why do I have to decide on my popcorn prices? I don't care. You know? And it's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. EA, PlayStation, Microsoft. 2 opposite spectrums here. Mm-hmm. If you can get me interested, imagine what this guy would be doing. Jesus, he'd be flying off the screen with happiness if that was the case. Mm-hmm. You know, but I think VR would be cool. Where you're actually involved in it. Holodeck, man, that's what I want.
That's what everybody wants.
Walk into your room, and
I
it's
want
like,
a
bam.
holodeck.
When you're fucking, that'd be sweet.
Yes, it would.
Don't forget to like us, subscribe to us on the YouTubes and the Facebook. Go to Facebook. That's where we post our links to our videos. So like, comment there. Don't forget to comment below. We're also available on iTunes.
Yeah.
Good night.
See ya.